What up everybody, welcome to a brand new Q&A. Today it's Monday, you know what time it is. We have some questions, we got some answers. And if you want to join this shit, just make sure you throw in your comment on this video. I'm gonna heart it, and by next Monday, you're gonna get your shit answered, okay? Now last video we had a couple of questions in, but more arguments and shit like that. So on this video, I'm just gonna throw in just the questions, okay? So now let's kick it off with the first one, which comes from Rixon Yaga, who was also on the other video. Big thanks for the answer, mate. No problem, dog. And now I'm interested in what you choose. Opinion about the top 5 classes for 2v2 and 3v3 without healers and rogue mage. Kind regards, bro. Cheers. Oh, 2v2. I guess you could definitely count Demon Hunter, Fury Warrior, Holy Paladin, Enhancement Shaman. And what will be the 5th? And Discipline Priest probably. Now 3v3, man, that's different, you know, it's kind of similar to that, although Demon Hunters are not that present over there. So I'll say Boomkin, I'll go Enhancement Shaman, what else? Discipline Priest, of course, Holy Paladins, once again, Feral Druids, Hunters, somewhere in this range, okay? I hope it answers the questions. It's just off the top of my head, so what I've seen so far. But we need to check out Arena, mate, to make sure on what are the top 5 classes in these brackets, man. Thanks for that for the question, brother. Keep them coming. Next one is from good Ol Ismail. What do you think of Blizzard getting Holinka back? Haha, Holinka. And even as a lead combat designer, this means class design and PvP combat. Hopes high for palette changes, or do you fear he could break the class even more? Nah, man, I have faith in Holinka, man. A lot of people flamed his ass back in the day, and you know, he was a lead PvP designer in Warlords and in Legion until he stepped down in 2017, I think it was. But he did some pretty good things apart from a couple of disasters as well. Now, I'm not gonna go into all the negative parts. I know he had some flames on. Starting off with Ashbrand back in Warlords. I liked Ashbrand for the most of it. It turned out to be a bigger PvE fest than a PvP fest, but still, I've enjoyed it. The moments when you had to do PvP and when you engage with people were really awesome. And you know why I love Holinka? Because he was like the main guy in Warlords for PvP and a bit into class design when Ret Paladins were like in the best state they ever were, in my humble opinion. And that was in Warlords of Draenor. So definitely I have high hopes if he's having something to do with class design as well. I'm having high hopes. And in lead combat designer, I don't know if this position was even existing prior to this. So it's definitely something to look forward to in the future. I don't know if she will happen in 8.1, but definitely 8.2, a lot of stuff is going to happen for sure. Class design and PvP combat. I don't know, I hope he doesn't like propose templates back. I mean, I like the fact that we have gear now in PvP. I just hate the fact that we're struggling with Azurite traits and secondary stats, and you know, trying to get those as optimal or as efficient for all playstyle as possible. But I do like having gear in arenas. That, plus the fact that he will touch on class design, man, I'm telling you, I always liked him. I know he was the subject of a lot of ridicule, but Blizzard bringing him back to the WoW team, and specifically for class design and PvP combat, means that shit hit the fan. Okay, so it looks like some sort of, okay, get that bastard back in here, we need to fix some shit. So yeah, man, I think it's gonna get pretty good. There's a lot of shit that needs to be changed in PvP with specific classes, in arenas and RPGs and shit. So yeah, my hopes are high for it, definitely, man. I like Holinka, okay? I like him. Overall, I think he's a good guy, and you know, he did some pretty good things, man. Not focusing on the negatives over here. I'm seeing it as a positive change. So we'll just have to see. Thanks for the question, Ismail boy. Keep them coming. Alright, next one is Nasty Nate. As a paladin, mages and rogues have been giving him problems in arenas. Any tips? Ho, you gotta watch a lot of my previous videos, dog. Now against rogues, you gotta be more explicit. How are they a problem for you as a red paladin? If the combo mage rogue is something you're facing, then yeah, I can see why, especially if it's a frost mage. Now when you're fighting frost mages, I've said it a million times, not myself but other people as well. You have to first off have like a really mobile build. I mean, play with Law and Order, you know, maybe at some point maybe even Unbound Freedom, who knows. you know, Hammer of Reckoning, Hammer of Wrath, a lot of ranged abilities as well, you know, Execution Sentence, to be able to hit the bastard. And even with that, it's not guaranteed you're gonna kill him, okay? It's actually like you have like you still have fewer chances on killing a Frost Mage as a Ret Paladin with all the builds you got. But the best thing you can do for yourself when facing a Frost Mage is taking a lot of range shit and go for Law and Order and Non-Bound Freedom and slow him as much as possible. When fighting rogues, I don't understand how. I mean, traditionally Ret Paladins kind of counter rogues. Okay, we have buffs, we have eye for an eye, you know, freedoms, super fast stuns, and high amounts of damage. Remember, rogues are really squishy outside their evasion and cloak. Okay, so you as a Ret Paladin can survive that shit no problem. So you have to give me a bit more details where you see the problems on fighting rogues. If not, just look at my previous videos on Ret Paladins. You know, I think like when back in the summer when I did a lot of beta and Gladiator Sanctum shit, I did a lot of arena commentary. When fighting against rogues, it's actually pretty easy to fight a rogue as a Ret Paladin. But you know, be a bit more detailed in the comments and maybe I can help you out with it. Okay, Nasty, thanks a lot, man. Keep them coming. Alrighty, next one is from GuruHellHunter, one of our Patreons, the biggest. Love the Q&A. What do you think about Blizzard's move to give 3 days trial and BFA for people that don't have BFA? Oh man, I'm telling you, man, shit hit the fan, man. There was a lot of negativity, and until, you know, info and news about 8.1, you know, made it to the surface, people kind of stopped playing the game. I did my problems, my issues with BFA video, and over there I explained it pretty thoroughly, and I think a lot of people felt the same way, and a lot of people have canceled their subscription. I think this is, I don't know if the main reason, or it's definitely a big reason why they're giving out these trials, you know, to have people come back and see how the game is. And I'm thinking they're gonna keep this up until 8.1 launches as well, just to have the, you know, a lot of the shit fixed. But it's definitely panic mode at Blizzard for sure. And it's sad to say, man, but a lot of people are starting to compare BFA with Warlords. Some of them are even saying that Warlords in its first half of the year was better than BFA is today. So I don't know, man, it doesn't look good. Hopefully 8.1 will change all of that shit, because I want the game to do better, okay? And I'm thinking everybody's in a good heart when thinking about, well, they want the game they love to work. So we'll just have to see. Thanks for the question, HellHunter, and for your support, man. Love ya. Let's move to the next one, which is from KierHack. Hey Marcelian, what do you think about double red in 2v2? Would it work, or would Hammer or Repentance if they can interfere with stun time? The burst I bet would be OP. Also, what do you say is a good rotation for maintaining damage in a burst rotation? Double red Paladin in 2v2. I think it can work if you're like only looking to have fun and maybe, I don't know, push it to 1800. I don't think you can push too far with it. It would definitely be fun. Of course, you're gonna have stun DR and repentance DR if you're gonna play with that shit. But nowadays in the game, you know, DRs are like, if you are not making that target immune, you can still get something out of it. Like even after you hodge and you then hodge again for a DR. I think it could work. I mean, I've played a little bit of double red Paladin on the Gladiator Sanctum, and it was pretty OP, but back then we had the super huge heals from Word of Glory. So if you think about it, yeah, you have a lot of burst, but you're always gonna get fucked by mage teams. That's one thing. Probably gonna get fucked by hunter teams as well, because you're gonna have a hard time getting to your targets. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Obviously you have the big heals, the big damage. Always good, you can play repentance and stun. It can be fun once again, but I don't think you can push too much with it. Now, good rotation, you can go ahead and watch my red PvP guide. I explained the rotation pretty well over there, I think. But generally, like right now, like everybody plays with Inquisition, including myself. You just go like Blade of Wrath, pop Inquisition, then Judgment, Crusader Strike, pop Wings, Execution Sentence, Wake of Ashes, Templar's Verdict, then Crusader Strike, Judgment to build your holy powers and spam Templar's Verdicts. It's kind of it. I mean, there's no difference, you know, between maintaining damage and bursting. You know, the rotation is the same. Only with bursting, make sure to have your judgment buff on the target. You know, put that execution sentence on his ass, and then Wake of Ashes. It's the only thing I can think of that would be different. Other than that, you build up holy powers and use them on your Templar's Verdict. But you know, go on the channel and check for the Ret PvP guide. It's much more detailed and explained over there, okay? With numbers and shit. Alright, thanks for the question, buddy boy. Keep them coming. Next! Okay, smoking barrels. Poof, this is a big one. Yo, Marcelian, been watching the vids for some time now, and up until now completely forgot to smack that subscribe button until now. Happy to be a supporter, love your vids. About goddamn time, son. Thank you. And it might be jumping in early, but I thought I might throw in a question or maybe throw something at you concerning our PvP stats builds. Okay, so I was running Divine Purpose and doing the standard haste mastery stat priority, sitting around 18 to 20% haste and 37-38 mastery unbuffed, and was happy with it. But got to thinking about that versatility. Oh, versatility. I researched and noticed a lot of Reds in that 1800 category were running around 6 to 8% versatility. I have that too, man. It's just by default on what we get on the gear. I mean, they don't focus on it necessarily. And in that same high mastery range, yet my versatility was very low, like 1-2%. See, that's unlucky. I have the same amount of versatility without even focus on it, and a lot of these higher Reds don't focus that much on versatility, but that's the thing, it's a bit unlucky, so fuck the BFA gearing system. Just a little bit of a parenthesis. This gave me an idea. What about a build that focused on getting our haste to around 11-13 unbuffed and swapping out DP over Inquisition to make up that haste gap, putting us back to the 18-20% haste range, and of course that nice 7% straight damage buff too. Okay, well, we did talk a little bit on this, I mean more on this on the last Q&A. So yeah, definitely Inquisition is the thing to go right now. It's just that the sweet spot, you know, 18 to 20%, that's the sweet spot, you know, unbuffed. So you ideally want to go to above 25% to make things more fluid. But 18 to 20% flat out is still good. If we don't have to focus so much secondary on haste in PvP and let Inquisition fill that gap, it lets us really focus those secondary on our mastery and versatility. This would not only help our wing skill window be even more scary, but also increase our sustained pressure in PvP by being able to put that focus into higher mastery and versatility. That's true. Letting Inquisition give us our haste back. From the gear changes I looked into, dropping into this stat build trend would allow us easily at an item level around 365, 370 to hit 38-40% mastery, 8 to 10% versatility, and with the Inquisition buff still be sitting at 18 to 20% haste, plus the straight 7% damage on top of all that juicy mastery and versatility. Maybe the build idea has already been discussed. It has been a little bit, but I really haven't seen it brought up too much from all the forums guys I've looked into on Red. That's because a lot of people, it's pretty hard to focus a bit more on versatility, let's say, and you know, maintain a decent amount of haste. It's kind of close to impossible to farm that, to focus that, you know, type of gear and make it all work out with the traits and shit. This is why I hate the BFA gearing system with azurites and all that bullshit. But anywho, maybe this build idea has been discussed. Okay, now for do you think this would be a viable option for us? Have you tried this? As I've said, I haven't tried it because I literally find it impossible to test out different stats, weights and shit because of the fucking gearing system. I played last week a lot. I got 10 wastes, 10 fucking wastes, okay, that dropped from the arena. So I just said, you know, fuck it, I'm not gonna even bother anymore with gearing, you know, getting some interesting or specific piece of gear. PS, what are the feelings on the 10% damage nerf to DP currently showing on the PTR? Showing DP procs will only buff the next damage, healing by 20%. Do you think this will further solidify Inquisition? As I said, Inquisition is the main one right now. No questions asked. Though people are saying that they have fixed the glitch where DP would not chain proc on the PTR, so it looks like probably an increase in DP procs due to fix, but they cut its damage. If the chain procs work, it can be still viable. I think 20% is still really good. I've played it on the PTR. I haven't seen that much procs on DP, to be honest, man. Do you think with the increased proc, lower damage it will still stay roughly what it is? Sorry for the long PS. Don't be sorry, man. It's fine. So I haven't noticed the proc rate. Maybe I haven't logged in when they have fixed it, but it seemed as the same it is on live. Okay, dropping it from 30% to 20%, I don't see that much of a deal. Still, a 20% damage increase for a spender or healing is still really good. If the proc rate is higher, it might be viable once again. But at the moment, Inquisition is the best way to go, just for that sustain, that for consistent damage. Still, a lot of Reds are going for haste. And with on top of that shit, having Inquisition, you know, even buff it even more, it just makes it for a much more fluid playstyle. You're able to use your abilities much faster, and on top of that, you have a bit more good sustain. But the subject you brought into it has been discussed previously. As I've said, dog, right now I cannot be asked to go and search for other gear because it's ridiculous. As I've said, I got this week. I got 10 wastes. 10 wastes. So as much as I would like to test out a lot of shit, like I would gladly go out for full-on versatility to try it out. Right now, it's impossible for me to do that. So try it out. If you get to the stats you want to get, let me know how it works out for you, man. Thanks a lot, Smoking. Keep them coming. Alrighty, and we're getting to the last question for today, which is from Ret Signet. What do you think is better for Arena? It being fast-paced where you win or lose in the first 3 or 4 minutes, or a slower, more methodical pace where it might take 5 to 10 minutes or even longer to win? Do you think slightly nerfing damage across the board as well as the amount of CC while slightly increasing the rating gains to compensate for the added length of the games would be a welcome change, or the people are more interested in short games? Really awesome question, dog. Just curious to see which people prefer, as it seems Blizzards are pushing for a faster pacing with the faster dampening, heal reduction on several classes, mana cost regen, and higher damage specs. New to your channel, but really enjoyed these Q&As. Quality conversation with the community is always nice to see. Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. Well, in regards to making it fast-paced versus more methodical, I wouldn't go for these extremes. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. I don't think like 100% fast-paced, as it kind of is right now, is the answer. I think, and it's not necessarily because they want it like that. It's just some classes are so ridiculous with the, you know, some traits or RNG shit or procs that you cannot expect it. You cannot play the game. You cannot, like, as much skill as you would want, you cannot predict a fucking proc from a class such as, I don't know, Enhancement Shaman. So that's a problem over there. Now, being too methodical, you know, that was a big problem, I think, in Cataclysm and in MOP, where you had, like, where people would just turtle the fuck out of, you know, everybody and play till dampening until dead. It was really boring and annoying, right? That doesn't work either. So just make it a best of both worlds. Now in 2s, I think it's really good that dampening is there, because 2s used to be like healer DPS games used to take forever to finish, okay? So the faster dampening in 2s is a really welcome change, okay? In 3s, I guess you can postpone it a little bit and you know, just add a little bit to the strategy, and you're having people reset and shit. But once again, you got to think about it from their perspective, as they're trying to push it even more into esports. Faster means more action, more gameplay, you know, more excitement, more entertainment. So it's kind of a touchy, edgy subject, I think, for them. But in my book, I like it when it's fast-paced, like how it was. I don't know what example to give you. Legion was a pretty good example, I gotta say. You had fast-paced, but you also had methodical. It depended a lot on the comps. Now you had like Turbo Cleave, which could have fucked you up instantly, but when you played against that, you knew what build to go for, or, you know, when playing championships, people knew what comps to pick to counter that shit. So I think Legion is a good example. I don't know if Warlords had its fuck-ups as well. Cataclysm, I think it was the most, I've said it a million times, for me Cataclysm was the most balanced in that sense, because yeah, you did have long games over there in 2v2s, but in 3v3s, a lot of the specs were able to do good, and there wasn't only like you know, unpredictable RNG proc, you're dead in 5 seconds type shit, okay? So once again, dude, really awesome question. My 2 cents in it is not that too fast-paced, not that methodical, just somewhere in the middle, okay? You need to have burst. I mean, not global somebody down, burst somebody to get them to 10%, okay? You know, that can be in there, but not a global, and not so much proc and RNG shit. That's all I'm saying. And with this, I think we wrap it up. Thanks a lot for the question, Ret Signet. Keep them coming, brother. Yep, so I guess this is it. Thank you so much for all of the questions. As always, at the end of the video, we're gonna take the time to thank our awesome Patreons. You know, HellHunter, Rumple Foreskin, Joshua Elliott, Kogo Alfer, Syrup, and Helldope. Thank you guys so much. We love you. And if you want to support the channel in that way, Patreon link is in the description. Have a great week ahead, guys. Peace.